of Wealth Without Wall Street, 7 Keys to an Early Retirement. So, what I'll be doing is introducing to you my ideas, my book, a book that Wall Street wants banned, and it's a book that Robert Kiyosaki wished he wrote. So, welcome to the Global Lunch. And you may ask, why did I travel 8,000 miles from the United States to come here? It's for several reasons: to celebrate the country of my heritage and to highlight the greatness of our culture, the promise and the potential of the Philippines, and express my pride, my affection, and respect for the warmest people in the world. What I'm doing is more than just presenting a white paper on where I think you should put your money. There are thousands of books right out there that'll do that for you. What I want to do is do something a little bit more. Start a revolution, a global movement to really change the way people think about investing. Because the goal is to improve the quality of life for people, and why not make some history? So you're wondering, who is this guy up here who speaks English with a funny accent? I was born in Long Island, New York, a million years ago. My parents, they immigrated to the U.S. in 1958. They were both doctors. And I am just like you guys, a seeker of truth, trying to figure out, how do you build wealth? How do you make money without taking huge risks? How do we get to that place that we all look for, that elusive financial freedom? How can we get to a point where we can stop working? I'm an author, speaker, investment expert. I've been a financial planner for a decade and a real estate investor for over 20 years. I like to think of myself as a global thought leader. And best of all, I'm most proud to be the father of my 2 incredible children, Ben, who's 14, and London, who's 11, who I'm hoping will be the next Philippines Miss Universe someday. So what do? I teach investors how to replace their working income with passive income so they can actually stop working and enjoy an early retirement. So when people ask, how can I stop working, or where should I put my money, or where's a good place to invest, that's how I help people. I help people get to that place of financial freedom. Why does this even matter? Stephen Covey, the author of this famous book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he taught one of his principles is to begin with the end in mind. Why do you do the work you do? Why do people own businesses? Why are we killing ourselves every day in the salt mine, working endlessly to create income and money? And ultimately, it's for a couple of things. We want to be happy, and we want to live fulfilled lives, and ultimately we want some freedom. That's the goal of most people, but most people don't get there, unfortunately. Did you know that only about 2% of all people at the age of 65, retirement age, are financially free? Obviously, what that means, what does that mean for the 98%? Well, the 98% are working till they're dead, relying on Social Security or friends and family for sustenance. So obviously, if only 2% of the population is financially free, something's wrong. Very wrong. So that's our big problem. Second, there was an interview of the CEO of one of the largest money managers in the United States, BlackRock. They probably managed $4 or $5 trillion and he was interviewed on TV, and he was asked, what can investors expect in the stock market and mutual funds over 20 or 30 years? He said, oh, you'd be lucky to get 4 or 5%. Well, 4 or 5% is not even going to meet inflation. And that's pre-tax too. So that's not a good. And this is an interesting study that was done last year. Harvard did a study of millennials. And what they found is that overwhelming majority, 86% of millennials, don't trust Wall Street. Now what's interesting about that is, if you've got 80+ million boomers in the United States who are retiring, what are they doing? selling their shares. They're consuming their retirement assets to live on. Who are they going to sell them to if you've got a lot of other people retiring and millennials who don't trust Wall Street? So that is not reflective of a good environment for the investors.